This is a Headgum podcast.
Take your choice.
Wow, really?
Yeah. You can have the red chair or the red chair.
I'll sit here.
All right.
Why not?
Mixing it up a little bit.
Should I use a coaster?
Thank you.
Of course.
I mean, if you want.
Oh.
I mean, that's what it's there for.
Right.
But I don't know. This is,
Sure.
it's not
Nothing special.
coaster reliant.
Oh, and there's another one here. Oh, perfect.
Oh my lord. So apologies in advance, but I didn't get very much sleep last night.
Oh no, I actually didn't either.
Okay, this should be fun then.
Yeah. How does that affect you?
I mean, that's a good question. I'm probably just not as sharp, and I haven't really started my day. Like, I woke up to explain
Please.
Let me put this on Buzz. Thank you. I got, Emma, do I need a coaster with this? It's metal. No, I don't. In fact, here's a question. Do I need a coaster with anything in this room?
No, I doubt that that's wood.
It's not wood. Your doubt is correct.
Yeah. For show.
I think we established that on the very first episode. So, yeah, I was out. Listen, if you have to know, Jesus, Chris, enough. Always asking me about this stuff. Yes, I made my Broadway debut last night.
You're
yes.
kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Whoa.
And so, certainly not expecting what was to come, I went out and had a few drinks with Tim Meadows, who's in the cast, and we go way back. He's a good egg.
Yeah.
He's a good egg. And the price of eggs are rising, so that's even more valuable.
Right.
And, didn't drink crazy. I had like 3, and this will relate to last week's episode, 3 juicy, hazy IPAs.
Okay.
And hasn't aired yet, so you wouldn't be.
Okay, I wouldn't be. I'm not privy to sort of the context.
You just anybody who's listened consecutively will understand. So, went home. I didn't get home till like 11:30. Walked in, and my wife, I should also say, has strep throat, so she's sleeping downstairs.
Okay.
And she's, drugged up and out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to walk the dog. Come back. I set my backpack down, and I've still got everything on. And then my daughter is naked, leaning over the railing, going, "Daddy," and that's not good.
No.
And I go, "Yeah, honey, I threw up."
No.
Okay, and it was like murder scene kind of thing. Like it was just like she had it all over her, and I was like, "Okay, honey, let's get you a bath," and I, got a hot bath going, and and she's like shivering, and she doesn't have a fever, but she's thrown up everything everywhere. So I get the sheets, do not rinse them out well enough, put them in the washer on the bedding setting, which is wrong. I should have put sanitize, and I was kind of half out of it too. Yeah. So, and then just long story short, and I when I cleaned her up and everything, I was like, "No, you don't have to go to school tomorrow." I put her in our bed, and then 15 minutes later, she threw up again, all over the place, and then it was just that for the rest of the night. Gave her a little Pepto, threw that up, and then I think it ended around 4. So, and then I had to get up and I had to talk to Rachel Clay. Oh, the most important thing in the world.
Clay.
Can't miss that. And so here I am.
How do you feel? Do you think you're going to get
I'm a little
sick?
tired, out of it. I also have tinnitus, so it gets a little worse if this for this kind of condition.
I have that too.
Oh, it's the worst. It's such a pain. No, it's not the worst. Actually, I take that back. It's the way, way worse things. It's just so annoying.
It is annoying. Sometimes it grounds me a little bit because it brings me back to the present. You know?
Interesting.
Because you're like, oh, I'm thinking all this stuff, and then you just hear the noise, and you're like,
wow.
Here I am in the world. But
I've never thought about it like that. I like that.
Just worth a shot, I guess.
That was a good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know the song Hey Man, Nice Shot by, who is it? Helmet? No. Filter, yes. Filter.
I don't know that many songs.
So you don't know that many songs?
No, I don't.
Well, hang on one sec. Let me finish this thought. I'm going to get to that. But this is also a reference to last week's episode. That was about Bud Dwyer, the state treasurer of Pennsylvania, who called a press conference and shot himself.
I keep hearing about this.
Really?
Yeah.
What circles do you run in? That's weird.
Just, you know.
Keep hearing about Bud Dwyer.
Normal people
who
talking about.
In the 80s.
Shot himself.
You keep hearing about that.
Yeah, I do.
What is this, like a book club thing? Or?
No, it's more just like I sort of am obsessed with people like shooting themselves. And obsessed is maybe too strong a word. But I'm just like, what a way to go out.
Sure.
And people
hey man,
are
nice
like,
shot.
Yeah. I hope, well, that's my fear, I think, is if I ever do it, I'll just do it wrong.
Oh, do it like in a boring pedestrian way?
Or like miss. And then it's like, well, now I just have like a hole in my head and I can go to the hospital. You know what I mean?
I don't think that.
Can you survive a shot to the head?
Sure. That's
what I'm worried about. If I do it,
but I don't know if
you
mean you get cold feet at the very end, but yet you still pull the trigger because you're a woman of action.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could graze yourself. You know what you could do is go to shoot yourself.
Yeah.
Miss.
Yeah.
Hit a little piece of teleprompter, a little piece of glass, teeny piece of glass.
Yeah.
And just graze your ear and then become president of the United States.
Right.
And say that you were, it was a bullet that missed me Jesus brought his hand down and redirected the bullet, Matrix style, even though it was clearly from the teleprompter. But yeah.
I can't believe that happened.
Which one?
The one where he got shot in the ear.
He didn't get shot in the ear.
It missed him entirely?
It hit the teleprompter. It is absolutely,
But what about the blood? Wasn't there?
Well, it was from the glass that sliced his ear.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Oh, there'd be so many other signs if a bullet literally grazed him.
Right.
Like literally there'd be and there wasn't, and he did not get shot by a bullet. It was shrapnel and,
wow.
But everybody, it's a myth. It's now, in the lore of Americana. Just because people chose to believe that and ignore the obvious.
The Democrats should have campaighed on that a little more, I think.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shrapnel.
Looks like we really dodged a bullet on that one. Or should I say dodged a piece of glass shrapnel from a teleprompter.
Yep.
And didn't he make one part of his initial campaign about making fun of people using the teleprompter? Wasn't that one of his things back in the first run?
I think so. Well, I know for Biden, he's just always been like, this guy can't talk, basically. Yeah. So maybe it's like, I can do this without a teleprompter, I feel like was a part of it.
Yeah, but he was using a teleprompter.
Of course.
Yeah. And in the same way that it's like, Obama, he's always golfing. Stop golfing.
Right.
And then became, in 4 years, golfed and took more vacations than any other president, including presidents that served 2 terms and even 3 terms.
That's incredible.
And people are like, sounds good to me. Yeah, you're right. Stop golfing, Obama. You can golf, though, Trump. That's not hypocritical.
No.
All right. That's enough about that.
Well, I have one question.
Yes.
It's kind of gossipy. I don't know if you like that.
I don't, but I don't hate it. I'm just, excuse me, it's not my thing.
We can move past it if you don't want to talk about it.
Well, it's
out in the public.
Yeah, it's one of those things like my wife likes a bit of gossip and my cousin is the fucking worst. And will text me things like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Why are you bothering me with this?
Yeah. Maybe your cousin and your wife should text.
Yeah.
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 Well, the gossip is just that allegedly.
Is it about Gaza?
No.
Okay.
I would never.
Okay.
It's about Obama and Jennifer Aniston. Have you heard this?
No.
They were like together for a while.
What, please?
No, I'm telling you. First of all, well, I shouldn't say my source, but it's a very reputable source. Someone who works with him. And
Okay.
I knew this about 2 years ago, and it's finally out in the public.
Wait, now I have not heard about this, but I would imagine, and I'm not on social media, and I don't even hang out on the internet that long, but that seems like something I would know. That's one of those things I know. Like I know Beyonce won the Grammy for country album, and everybody was furious.
Right.
Not everybody,
Were people upset?
Yeah, some people were. But like I know that.
Yeah,
I know, gosh, what else? Yeah, just, the things that everybody knows. So that seems like something I would definitely have heard of.
I feel like it broke recently. And Chris, feel free to weigh in because you were nodding. Or I don't know if you're allowed to weigh in.
I don't know if I'm allowed to weigh in either.
You could absolutely weigh in. Come on, this is equitable. I'm all about DEI in this room.
I've heard that rumor for a while. And
How have I not heard this?
And it's just been a rumor. It's not like it broke on People.
Okay,
or something.
so yes, the
but now it has,
reputable
I
People
think.
magazine.
Now I think it's out there.
I gotta get back on.
All right, so tell me what you know.
What I know is that Barack and Michelle, and I'm worried about saying this in a public way. I feel like I'll get sniped by their whatever.
But that's what you wanted, right?
Yes. Well, I'd like to be in. I guess I want to
be a
shoot
part of it.
myself.
Well, you can't snipe yourself. You'd have to have like one of those
Maybe AI could help
Rube
with that.
Goldberg-esque machine to be able to pull the trigger on that. But
I just know that they have an open marriage, an open arrangement.
I didn't know that.
This is
Wait,
what
that's
I've heard.
common or no? That's
This
not
is
common.
perhaps more like, again, like I'm sort of blowing up my source who is reputable.
You so far you haven't, and you
And I won't,
can
I
take
won't.
it out of you can edit it if you're not
No,
comfortable.
it's fine. I hope, Brock, if you're listening, I'm sorry. But also,
he's not listening.
Great. Well, yeah. Open marriage, whatever. I don't care. But
Nobody's
I'm just
judging,
saying.
right?
No judgment.
So who's Michelle fucking? That's the...
I heard her bodyguard,
Oh, okay.
which is awesome.
Because she saw My Bodyguard and got all inspired
Do you have a
by that.
bodyguard?
No, not My Personal Bodyguard, the movie My Bodyguard
I don't
with
know that
Kevin
many
Costner and
movies
Whitney
either.
Houston. Yeah, I guess not.
No.
You just know gossip about ex-presidents.
Yeah.
Wow. And Friends cast members.
Yes.
So when and how did they hook up, if you know that kind of stuff?
That I don't know, but I heard about it like 2 years ago.
So this is post-presidency?
Yes.
Oh.
I would say probably during the presidency they were together. Foley. Barack and Michelle
Yeah.
probably had a closed marriage
Yeah.
due to the circumstances.
Sure.
But these are two of the busiest people in the world who travel, need to get whatever.
I would say that perhaps Barack Obama is one of the busiest people in the world. I don't know if Jennifer Aniston is one of the busiest people in the world.
I meant Michelle, but I don't really know
I
what
see,
Michelle's
yes.
up to either.
Right. So she's perhaps fucking her bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then Barack and that's that. I don't know how you avoid that. I mean, there's no amount of, back entrances and fooling the paps. I don't know how you get away with that.
I have to imagine they paid everyone off.
Everyone?
Maybe.
Except for
traded
your
secrets.
And your source works or worked?
Works for him
Oh, okay.
in some capacity.
And is this source a personal friend of yours that
Yes.
you can vouch for?
Yeah.
They're legit.
Yeah.
Wow.
A journalist.
Okay.
I've said too much.
Okay. If you want to take something out, you
No.
can.
Keep it all. Release the
Then
tapes.
you said just enough.
Yeah.
You haven't said too much.
Yeah.
I think the guideline for editing something out is you've said too much. If you said just enough, then we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So
And-
that's all I have to offer, I guess.
Well, that's good. I mean, but it sounds like you haven't. said anything beyond what apparently you and Chris and many others already know. So that's
right. I guess I wish
so what's the point? You're just like a Yahoo page at this point.
Well, I guess I'm saying like I knew before a lot of other people, but I'm not. You're right. I'm not saying anything newsworthy.
So
at this
is
point.
really just about validating yourself by saying I knew this information before that I didn't know about before everybody else, but Chris obviously knew about.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you knew too, huh?
Yeah, but not so directly. Just secondhand.
That's even cooler, kind of.
No,
Yeah,
that's
whatever.
not cooler. Actually, firsthand is cooler
better.
than secondhand. Secondhand is how now I know it.
Right.
So
Okay,
if
that's
Chris and I
nice.
share the same
I guess third hand, maybe.
third hand, yeah.
Wow. So
No,
first, second, third.
Yeah, you should know, well, first, second, third. You
I
should
see.
know, for those of you at home, we've been pointing to each other.
Okay, you sign up for something and then forget about it after the trial period ends, then you're charged month after month after month. The subscriptions are there, but you're not using them. In fact, I just learned that 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. I'm sure I have dozens. But thanks to Rocket Money, now you can see all your subscriptions in one place and cancel the ones you're not using anymore. And then you're saving more money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all of your accounts. Easily create a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track. Are you spending a lot of money on clam chowder? Make that a category. See how your clam chowder expenses are going. Rocket Money can help. See your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going. Get alerts if bills increase in price. There's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. Let's say you've allotted, $180 for clam chowder for the month. This way you can track and see how much money you're spending on chowder. Are you spending too much money, but you still want chowder? Get some cheaper chowder. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you, especially with clam chowder. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service so you don't have to. And I don't know how many times I've had to deal with some just like automaton on the other end when I'm trying to get clam chowder. It's ridiculous. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/senses today. That's rocketmoney.com/senses. rocketmoney.com/senses.
All right, so I don't know if they explain to you. I try to know as little as possible about the guests that I don't know about.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not like I'm poring over research.
Yeah.
But I know enough to know you're a comedian in the New York area.
Yes.
How's that going?
Well, I've been in LA a little bit more.
Where are you from
and so
originally?
I'm from New York City originally.
Okay. From the city?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What part?
Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, so you've seen a lot of changes.
I really have. Although my block hasn't changed at all.
That was my next question was, when you go back home, is there a home to go back to? Yeah.
Technically, yes. Although, so my dad lives in my childhood apartment. I don't talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I see pictures.
Because he won't leave your apartment.
Yeah, I'm like, let's go. He has a YouTube page, so I see pictures of my apartment on his YouTube page.
Weird.
And it looks the same. Anyway. And then my mom lives in Chelsea I shouldn't say where. But she lives in Chelsea. But I can't go back to her apartment because there's a guy who lives above her who keeps dropping a bowling ball all the time.
Is it because his hands are getting weaker, he's arthritis, or he's
It's
purposely?
possible. We don't know why he's doing it, but he does it throughout the day and night.
Maybe he doesn't understand the concept of bowling, but he likes the idea of bowling.
Yeah. And
nobody's, why don't you go up there and say, hey, you do it this way?
We've tried knocking. He doesn't answer.
Have you tried knocking with a bowling ball?
No.
All right,
I'll throw a bowling ball at his door next time. It is like a building where it's mostly old people.
Yeah.
So I think the weak hand idea you have is perhaps correct.
It's too bad you can't swap out the bowling ball with something that's more like cube shaped or something that won't roll. So if he drops it, he drops it.
Tough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the bowling ball has holes in it, which makes it easier to pick up. But if it's a thing that drops and just stays there, maybe, and it's a he or she.
I shouldn't
you don't
assume,
even know.
honestly.
Okay. The person above your mom.
Yeah.
Now, how come you don't talk to your dad or see your dad?
He is crazy, but he's hilarious. But he's not a good guy.
In what way?
Maybe we'll edit this out, but we'll see how I feel about it because I talk about it in stand-up, but he's a pedophile.
Oh, shit, that's awful.
I know, but it's also like whatever. There are other things too. That's sort of like the cherry on top.
What is Prize Picks? Probably been asked that a million times. Prize Picks is the best place to go to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. And Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Prize Picks puts their members first. So, all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your pick hits, you can get money in as quick as 15 minutes. And Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Download the app today and use code SENSES to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code SENSES to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Wow. So if that is the cherry on top, the base, I'm assuming this is an ice cream sundae analogy. Yeah. That ice cream sundae must be amazing.
Yeah,
if
it's
that's
loaded.
The cherry. It's
bananas, peanuts, whipped cream, whatever.
Man, all kinds of sauces.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chocolate, caramel.
And when you say he's a pedophile, are you saying it like one would describe somebody as an alcoholic where if they've been sober for 10 years, you'd still say they're an alcoholic. So is he a practicing pedophile currently?
I don't think he's ever really practiced, although.
Wait, I don't understand
it's
at all.
It's sort of a situation of like watching stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
In a big way.
Oh, man.
But
and I assume you've addressed this.
With him?
Yeah.
No, he vehemently denies it.
So how do you know?
Because my mom found it.
Oh my God. And that's why they're split up.
They were already splitting up, or they had already split up.
That's terrible.
I know, but it's also, well, whatever, it's fine. He never did anything really, but it's not good.
Right, but he's still allowing that thing to continue
Of course.
And,
but all to say, that's not why I stopped talking to him. I would just say that, again, the cherry on top where it's like...
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a younger sibling
who...
Non-binary.
Okay.
You know about that?
What?
You know about that?
Yes, that one I've heard. That's come up on the...
Nice.
On the Yahoo.
Good.
Yes.
On Yahoo.
What? He's or she's and she's or... What in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about
That's awesome.
that.
Yeah, younger sibling.
Man, that's great. I truly mean this, that you are addressing it in your stand-up. You should. It's an amazing.
Of course. It's so funny.
Well, that's not necessarily what I meant, but that's good that you were able to put a funny, positive spin on it.
People get upset when I talk about it.
Well, they should. I'm upset a little bit by you just hear it, and you know, there's like all kinds of stories about, you know, happening every 2 weeks or so. You get, you know, you read something horrific, but to sit across from somebody who is the daughter of that, it has to deal with that, is like, that makes it much more, you know, present and immediate, and it's just, it's got to be, because it's sickening. It's such a.
It is. Sometimes I kind of. I think I have enough distance from it now, and I have fun with it. It was his birthday recently, and I texted him, and I asked him.
Wait.
I know we don't talk. We don't talk.
Wait. No, the first thing when you said that, my first, you know, cynical comic. It's like, oh, I know what you got him for Christmas for his birthday, Dad. Here's a dark web link to. All right, good Lord.
He's funny, but
Where do you get the pedophile who has everything?
He has nothing. He's on Ozempic right now, and he's gaining weight.
He's got life all backwards.
Yeah. This guy can't catch a break. But I texted him. I was like, I haven't talked to him in years, and I was like, sometimes I'm like, I should text him, because what if he dies, and then it'll feel complicated that I didn't wish him happy birthday or something.
Oh, fuck that.
I know.
Fuck that.
I know, but I did.
And also, is he trying to reach out to you ever?
No.
So fuck him. Fuck that guy.
Sometimes he does. Sometimes he does, but when he does, it's usually to tell me I'm like a bitch or whatever.
Fuck him double now.
Of course. But I texted him. I was like, he told me he was watching a Woody Allen movie on his birthday. And I was like,
how appropriate.
I was like, well, do you think you can separate the art from the artist? Like, I like to kind of play around with him. He just went on this whole tirade, like, defending Woody Allen, and was like, do you know about the Connecticut court case that ruled in his favor? Like, all this stuff.
Yeah, of course he's.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
It was so funny. So I got a kick out of it.
Well, that's good. What does he do for a living, or did for a living?
He's a cab driver.
Always, since you were a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
Hailed his cab once. This is my famous story. Not that it's very famous.
That what?
But we were estranged when I was in high school, and I hailed his cab.
Oh, weird.
Got into his cab.
Not knowing that was his cab.
I mean, I hailed it, and it was him. And it was like, am I going to get another cab, or am I going to get in the cab? So I got in the cab.
Oh, my gosh.
And he made me pay the fare.
I fucking hate this guy. I really don't like him. God damn, man. That's and he has a YouTube page. What's he doing on his YouTube page?
You should have him on the pod.
Maybe, sure. I might. I mean, I wouldn't say no to that.
Yeah, he's funny.
Well, I guess that's his saving grace, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, he learned English from Seinfeld.
What nationality is he?
Moroccan.
Say it again.
Moroccan.
They rank fairly high in the pedophile world.
In Morocco?
No, in globally.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I'll look into it.
I believe that section of the planet is,
Sure.
Middle Eastern, North African kind of. There's some stuff going on over there.
Yeah, I'll look into it. I'd like to visit so I could ask when I'm there.
Morocco's supposed to be amazing. I would love to go.
I would love to go.
Yeah. And your mom is?
Ellis Island Jewish type of thing.
Yeah. Wow, what an awful sense of betrayal too to your mom and you.
Sure.
But
I think my mom has a type.
Why? Who's she?
Well, there's
who's she
another
dating
guy
now?
she dated before my dad who I would say was pedophile adjacent.
That you have you met him or
Yeah,
seen it?
yeah. Weird guy. Nice
Wow.
guy,
Yeah,
but weird.
yeah.
And
How
now
did you end up meeting him?
they're still best friends.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
And he introduced her to my dad.
And your mom's first generation off the boat, or
No, my great grandparents were the ones who
Oh, so she's been here for a
made
while.
their way. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
from Brooklyn.
And where are your great? Do you say great or great great?
Great grandparents.
Yeah, where are they from?
Like
Odessa.
Lithuania
Yeah,
or something random.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I think
Where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta. That's the short. The short answer is Roswell, Georgia.
Okay.
But the longer answer is I was born in Atlanta, moved every year constantly, all over the place, and then moved back to Roswell when I was 9,
Mm-hmm.
and then was there for 10 years and then left. But my family's still there. I have one sister in North Carolina, but everybody else is still in Atlanta.
I've been to Atlanta twice.
Mhm.
Both times I got food poisoning.
That's the Atlanta promise.
Actually, I stayed 2 nights. First night I was sick. Second night I went to that strip club. That's awesome.
Oh, well, they're known for the strip clubs. The
one
Magic
with
City
the
one.
tenured. I'm going like this because they have
Claremont
huge
Lounge.
tits.
Claremont, yeah. Blondie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm air quote friendly with Blondie. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for those who don't know, and I think most people will know, Claremont Lounge is now it's internationally famous. It was around for a long time, but it was known for, it's right on Ponce. It's like right in Midtown and Ponce de Leon. And older, super sassy, and not empirically attractive strippers.
Yeah.
Cheap PBR, when I was in high school, 18, 19, 20, when we'd go down there, before it was hipster discovered. I mean, I think it was literally like $1 a beer, $2 a beer maybe. And it was more of a bar than a strip club. Everybody should know that.
Yeah.
That was just sort of this thing that happened around you. But, and it was at the base of the Claremont Hotel, which is now all fancy.
Mm-hmm.
But back then it was like a flop house.
Yeah.
My best friend growing up, him and his brother had a place there and found a rat. They were on like the 4th floor and they found a rat in their toilet. That's how.
Drowned.
No, alive, just swimming around. For
Oh,
real.
wow. Good
For real.
the
And they were on
rat.
like the 4th floor.
Because there aren't supposed to be rats up there.
That's a
It's a good detail.
tenacious rat.
Yeah.
To get all the way up there through the pipes.
Took
But
the
anyway,
elevator maybe.
and then it got then it was like, discovered by the cool kids. And that's really where I came into it too. I never went there as like a regular before it was hip, but then I heard about it, and it was awesome. But now it's like a tourist thing. It's really, and they've changed everything. Anyway, Blondie is still there, and she's
the one with huge tits, right?
Yeah, and she'll crush the beer can.
That was awesome.
Yeah, she's and then what she'll do also, and I've had this done to me. She will put your head, anybody, whoever. She'll take the tips and she'll put your head in between her tits and then she'll pound, and it hurts. Like she is getting out some shit.
Wait, sorry. She does it on the side of her own
on the side of her
tit,
tits, yeah.
but you're feeling the impact.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, she would be furious if I said this, but I'm guessing she's 50.
Sure.
Yeah.
She was incredible.
She's amazing, and she's I did this segment about her for Vice TV long time ago, because I had I sort of knew who, we knew each other, basically. But she's also, a little nuts, and would call me at 4 a.m. and with nothing to say and like just and also like when you are on either end of you've had a conversation in your head or somebody's had a conversation in your head, then they turn to you or you turn to somebody and go, oh, that's why I don't want chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And oh, sorry. I was just no. I thought we were talking about lunch earlier, and I thought I was talking to you, but I was talking. It's a lot of that where there's conversations in her head, and then she's telling you something. You're like, what? And at 4 a.m, like, yeah, well, I would just tell him that maybe it's time to go. Whatever.
Did she know about voice notes?
Oh,
because maybe that would help.
I have not talked to her since I moved to Brooklyn, which was...
Got it.
What? 15 years ago?
Okay.
So it's been a while.
Well, she seems to be doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what I saw.
No, she's certainly a really interesting... and if she's in the right headspace, really cool to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of different she's like first tier level of those, but there was a stripper named Cinderella, I think her name was. This is a true story. 100% true. So when I was, I'm going to say 18 or 19, I was there with my friend Craig. And Craig and I were sitting down there. This is kind of before it's getting discovered. And it's just a place to go with cheap beer. Mm-hmm. And kind of like a day drinking thing, whatever. Yeah. And we're there. And our waitress is, I'm going to guess 8 months pregnant. Mm-hmm. Like visibly with like a half shirt. But it's only a half shirt because her belly's sticking out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And she was younger. She was definitely, she was a waitress. Yeah. So most of the strippers are older. Mm-hmm. Not all of them, but they're,
I got a private dance there from a young stripper.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
There's no privacy. Where did you go?
No, they did it. It was someone, just quickly. I walked in at 2 a.m. with my backpack on because I was coming from a show. And people thought I was like a high schooler. And this guy was like, that's so funny. There's like a high schooler in here. And I was like, no, like I'm in my 20s. He's like, I'm going to get you a dance. And so he bought me a dance. The woman was fully naked, which I didn't really know about. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought you had, well, whatever.
Every state has a different.
Yeah.
Different rules.
And she did it in front of everyone at the bar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no there's no VIP room. There's no room anywhere to go.
No.
So when you said private thing, I was like, well.
But she was like doing like crazy stuff to me, and everyone was just watching. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I think they have a kind of a higher quality of talent there now. Now that it's like, you'll see like Japanese businessmen there, and it's like in the Time Out Guide to Atlanta, the
Where to Get Hard.
Yeah, Prague version.
Yeah. But go on, you're with Craig.
So the waitress, again, 8 months, like just about ready to pop.
Yeah.
Like, I think we get a couple rounds, and super sweet, Southern younger girl. And then at some point, she's like, oh, excuse me. And we're kind of at the bar. You know how there is that like kind of little like horseshoe thing? All right. So she's like, excuse me, and gives us our drinks, and then proceeds to go up and strip.
No way.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of people there. Probably like, I'm going to guess 10 people scattered around tops. And we were like, wow.
Whoa.
Full on pregnant, and I mean full on pregnant. Yeah. And then stripping, and then getting back in her clothes to serve more beers. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's Claremont.
I took a burlesque class once.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to try to be confident in my body, but it made it worse. Obviously.
What made it worse?
Well, burlesque is a lot of props.
Yeah.
So you have to have a fan and gloves, and that just really made it worse for me. Yeah, they really focused on the gloves.
So you're not good at glove work?
I don't know if I'm good at it or not, but I don't like it.
And what is it? This thing where you take your teeth and you do one finger at a time? Yeah.
Take your teeth on your hand. You pull off the glove. You take off your feather cap or whatever. I mean, this was a very particular burlesque class, I guess, where we're dressed to the nines. And then nipple tassels, kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was like a month-long course.
Wow. And like pre-Rachel, post-Rachel, is there a difference in your burlesque abilities?
I know how to dance a certain way to make my boobs move a certain way.
Oh, okay.
So that's a fun trick.
Okay.
On a date. Maybe a third date. Maybe a first date.
It depends.
Sure.
I mean, some people connect right away.
Yeah.
Are you a app dater?
I have been immensely, yeah.
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 That's something that is so foreign to me.
It's horrible.
In my generation. And there's a... Now, why do you say it's horrible?
I think it's like, I mean, a lot of it is just like, I think it gives people the mindset that like you can always find someone better, kind of. And it's like it's like online shopping.
Yeah.
It's like having 100 tabs open. And you never have to, you're just like, I'm going to actually try that one on.
Well, is it, okay, but what if it's just about hooking up? Is that still apply, or is it looking for love?
I guess I'm always looking for love.
Right.
Sometimes I'm not.
Yeah.
But mostly I am.
That's interesting that, and you recognize that, that flaw in it, that it's,
I think
there's somebody better.
And it's like who can curate their profile the best, and it doesn't actually necessarily like reflect anything, but there's an algorithm.
Is a profile a limited amount of characters and stuff?
Limited amount of pictures and kind of like prompts and whatever. But then like, I think the algorithm recognizes what's like a cool aesthetic. And so those people get more. I mean, I'm just pissed because I think I maybe don't have a good profile.
No, take a burlesque class. Did you put that into your profile?
No, I think that would knock me down a peg.
That you should lead with that.
Yeah.
And then next is my dad is a pedophile, right? And then after that, I'd like to shoot myself in the head. Yeah. I think you're going to get some top talent.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot and I'll tell you.
I want to let everybody know we're talking to Rachel Clay.
Can I correct you?
Yep.
Kaly.
What?
Kaly.
Kaly.
I know.
Oh, okay.
No one knows anything about my name.
But it's spelled K-L-A-Y?
K-A-L-Y.
Oh, I just misread it.
Perhaps it was a typo and you read it correctly, but there was a typo.
Let me see. Because
I don't want to blame
I'm thinking
anyone.
My brain made like a little, just saw it and autocorrect, as it were. I'll tell you right now. Wait a second. Let me look at my calendar.
And even if you knew the right spelling.
No, K-A-L, that was me. I messed it up.
Well, it's no worries.
Rachel Kaly.
There we go.
And why was I going to say this? Because, what what apps are you on?
Well, right now I'm taking a break from the apps.
Okay.
But I was on Hinge. I was on Tinder.
So look for Rachel Kaly on Hinge and Tinder after a brief hiatus.
Yes. I think they might still be active, but I just deleted the apps.
Right. So you got burlesque going. She knows how to move her, I'm going to say boobs because that's what you said.
Yeah.
Even though you said tits earlier. When they're somebody else's, they're tits. When they're yours, they're boobs. Okay. Yeah. So because I'm speaking, so her tits, I can say that, has a dance that she can.
Clockwise, counterclockwise, left, right.
But both at the same time, right?
Well, okay. I'm not going to show, obviously, but I'm just going to, if you're watching, did you put it on YouTube?
I do.
Okay, so I can do like that. I can do like that. I can do like that. I can do like that.
That seems really hard to me.
It's just gravity, really.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's quite simple.
Really? Is it like hula hooping or
a bit?
Belly dancing?
It's just about how you move your arms. I mean, it's really actually not very sexy because it's like you're kind of just Anyway.
But I mean, use it while you can because sex robots are right around the corner.
I know.
And they're going to be able
Thank
to do all
God.
that shit. Yeah. Rachel Kaly, sorry. And do you have any dates or anything you want to plug?
It's interesting. It's actually maybe the worst time for me to do this because I have nothing to plug.
That's all right.
But in about 6 to 9 months, there will be stuff to plug.
Well, I think you're asking a lot of my audience to remember.
If you're listening right now, put a reminder or like alert.
Yeah, put
Say
an alert.
Google Rachel Kaly now.
6 to 9 months from now.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go back to the food poisoning. So where'd you eat that you got food poisoning? Twice.
So one was I used to be too scared to fly.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taking a bus back from Denver to New York by way of the South. I know, it was horrible.
So
I got mugged.
Oh God, I want to hear about this, but why too scared to fly? Just that it was a...
You know what it is?
No.
And I keep bringing the mood down, pedophilia, whatever. But I saw 9/11 happen. My school was very close, and it ruined my life.
Sure, I understand.
Briefly.
I understand.
But I was like, there's no way it's not happening again to me.
Yeah, after 9/11, I was like, I'm not going into the World Trade Center.
No, totally.
I'm neither tower. That is not for me.
Nope. Not anymore.
Yeah.
I get that. That's smart.
Yeah.
But that's why I wasn't
soon?
flying. No.
Okay.
So the night before I'd been in Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
and I was staying at this girl's house who I knew in college, and she was a self-proclaimed pop star. And she lived in a mansion that her parents bought her.
Oh no.
And we were supposed to get dinner, but she said she was at the studio, which I don't know if that... she's never put out a song, so I'm like, maybe she was at the studio, maybe she wasn't. But so I didn't know where to get food, and she was like, help yourself to my stuff in my fridge. And all that she had in her fridge were raspberries. So I ate them, but I didn't wash them.
So a little listeria, perhaps.
I got major food poisoning on the bus to Atlanta and then had it in Atlanta.
Ugh.
And then I think the other time I had gotten food poisoning at the airport. So I shouldn't blame Atlanta.
Right.
I just experienced it there.
Blame the mayor, though, in his administration.
Yeah.
Oh, it could have been Shirley Franklin. It could have been her. When was this?
2016.
Yeah, so that was a lady.
Damn it.
I also got food poisoning, not on a bus, but on a train.
Amtrak?
Yep, going to Atlanta from Boston.
Did you have a sleeper car?
No. This was, I went from Boston to New York and then took whatever train it was. I remember one thing about it was that I remember I had cheddar cheese powder flavored sesame sticks.
What?
And the car was like an older car where there's like a lot of like wood, more wood than you'd ever see now. I don't remember which line it was, but I mean I was throwing up all over the place, and the train never stopped shaking. Yeah,
Oof.
never stopped shaking. It was awful.
That
and I
is
looked
horrible.
like when I got off the train, and there's vomit all over me. I don't have. And my mom was just like, "Oh my God!" And it's like I was just gray, and it was
Amtrak is on this trip. I took the train to Denver and then buses back. So I've taken the train from New York to Denver.
Man, that's so. I mean, I understand. I mean,
well, it made me after that. I was like, I'm taking a plane.
And so, what was that first experience like?
Of getting back on the plane? It was scary, but I take Klonopin when I fly.
My sister has a, not because of 9/11, this is going way back. She just has a terrible fear of flying that she knows is irrational. She's completely aware of it and is better, and she flies a lot, and is better at it, but taking off and landing is she's terrified, and she takes Klonopin as well.
It's interesting because I know taking off and landing is technically the most dangerous part of flying.
Right.
But it's actually the most soothing part to me.
Really?
I'm always worried about just dropping out of the air. And a terrorist.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And your dad's from Morocco.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Terrorist adjacent.
Yeah. Well, my full last name is Bin Khalifa, which means son of the caliphate.
Wow.
So that's tough when you're flying. They don't like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Have you ever just hi, I'm Rachel, son of the caliphate?
I would love to change my name back. Like, I'm kind of pissed that my dad changed our name.
He changed it
Kaly.
to well, it's understandable.
Of course.
I'll give him that.
He became a citizen in 2003. He's so funny. But he's just like, he was doing whatever. Yeah, he's a weird guy. But yes, he changed our name before he applied for citizenship.
Sure. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know my name. I'm not going to get into that.
Are you sure?
Am I sure about not getting into it?
Yeah.
Not because it's embarrassing. It's just sort of boring and long shit about my last name.
Are you Jewish?
Brought up Jewish. I got bar mitzvah and all that shit. But early on, I was like,
Not for you.
Not just not for me. Just like, this is bullshit. Like, right?
Like religion in general?
Well, I guess, yes, but also specifically, New and Old Testament based teachings are they're all ridiculous. Have you read the Bible or started to?
I can't say that I have. I mean, I was bat mitzvahed and I read my Torah portion, which was just about like counting people in a village, which I'm like, that's interesting.
Just counting like a census thing?
Yeah, it was like a census. And I just think that that's funny. Like counting up Jews, basically.
I remember my Haftorah.
What was it?
It was, I talked about this with Nick, I think. This is crazy. My Haftorah was, I can't remember who was talking to God. He was going to smite a village, and the I don't know if it's Abraham or who, I can't remember who it was, but he was in a very Jewish way too. If there are 1,000, if there's 10,000 people and 1,000 of them are innocent, would you still kill them? And he's like, no, I would not. What if there were 500? I would not. When it goes down to one, what if there was one innocent person? Would you still smite the village? He said no, and then God decides not to smite the village.
Classic.
But to kind of, he was annoyed at this guy, at kind of losing the argument, the debate, so he gave him a really tiny penis.
You're kidding. That's in the Torah?
Yes. It's not. I didn't make that up.
I would believe that.
It's something, it says something that you believed it.
Of course.
No, I read, I don't remember which translation. It was something that was a little easier to read, but I read Genesis. You don't even have to go past Genesis. Genesis is the most insane.
Is that Old Testament?
Yeah.
I just learned about Old and New Testament. I've heard about it, but I don't think I ever sunk my teeth into what it means.
The Old Testament is pre-Jesus. The New Testament is the Gospels. Mark, Luke.
Yeah.
Sandy and Trayvon. Those are the four apostles who wrote about Jesus. They didn't write. Because they didn't know how to write. Right. So they told these stories orally, and some people wrote little bits and pieces of them down. Then some of these things were, and also memories were written down as the Gospels according to Luke and John, and those were written 30 to 90 years after the apostle died. So
the apostle meaning the person whose book it is.
Yes. So not
Why did it take so long?
Because a lot of people didn't know how to write, and these were all stories that I have a whole bit about that. Very famous bit. It's probably one of the best bits ever in the history of stand-up comedy.
I'll have to Google it.
It goes back. Mm-hmm.
Or I could watch it now.
You could, I guess. I don't know which special it's from, but I gotta blow my nose. I'm getting like all. Hang on one second.
Did you use the whole wad for that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, there was a lot. I ran out of the house. I woke up.
You could have canceled on me, just so you know.
Yes. Well, I appreciate that, and I considered it, but no, I was like, I got to do this, and I told my wife. My wife said cancel, and I was like, I'll do this. I'll take a nap when I get home.
Yeah.
But oh, that poor kid. The whole what was admirable about it was there was no freak out at all. It was just like I threw up, and she kept throwing up, but there was no like, what's happening to me, or none of that.
She was resigned to it.
She was, and
there's a wisdom to that.
There is a maturity that, and she doesn't get like throw up sick a lot. I mean, I can count on one hand in her life that she's had that, but it was like something. She didn't have a fever, but something. And it's not norovirus because that has all these other attendant symptoms that she didn't have, and she just was at a loss. Like, why is this happening? I don't get.
How old is she?
She is 7. She'll be 8 in a couple weeks.
Amazing.
But so I appreciated her kind of no drama to it, just which is it's a good character trait to have. I think it's like, well, I'm sick and I'll deal with this now, and instead of being all, oh, what am I to do?
Mm-hmm. That would be awesome if she said that.
She's now reached the age where all those funny things that are adult-like that kids say, and every kid, every culture, every kid, everywhere has that era. It's like from 3 to 6, where they say things that children don't say, and adult, and you're like, what? Where did you get that from?
Yeah.
Really funny, or salient or prescient or whatever the thing that they say is. But she's kind of now she's getting to be a person,
right? Like
you don't really have those anymore. But
or if you do, it becomes your personality.
Well, I mean she's exposed to so much too, especially living in Brooklyn, and and also with all the shit that's available on TV. Like, I don't even know half the stuff that she's accessing. We don't. She's not on the internet. We don't have that. But so the phrases that she'd say that if she was 5 would be like, what in the there's less of that because it's like, oh, you heard that in class or you heard that on TV and whatever.
I was a teacher for a while.
Were you?
That around that age.
Oh, wow.
4 to 6, sometimes 7, depending on.
So like kindergarten.
Yeah, kindergarten and first grade.
Yeah.
And pre-K.
Okay.
They sort of threw me around.
Where did you teach?
It was a private school in the West Village.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
Did any celebrities' kids? Tons, yeah.
So many.
And did you find that you had a prejudgment of them that you tried to get past? Like, just because I don't respect your mother and father, I've got to give you
I really tried not to, but it is hard. It's like,
sure.
Oh, you're this person's kid? And you kind of see how they treat other kids or like what they're expecting, and you're like, ay. There were some, but
so
mostly,
you did experience a like, oh, that makes sense. You act like this, and you're this person.
A bit, yeah. And it was interesting because the parents were often very involved, and then you kind of like
Very involved, or
involved,
yeah.
and you meet these like celebrities in the context of being parents,
Mhm.
and then you have judgments about that. I wish I could say names, but I can't. Anyway, all to say, I was a teacher for kids that age, and they would say really funny stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was often, not often, but I sometimes was goading them to say, I was like, what are you going to say if I bring this up?
Right. That's kind of part of the fun, I would think.
Yeah.
Are you certified?
No.
So how does that work?
I was like in an assistant position.
Okay.
My job was actually mostly about discipline. I was the disciplinarian. But it's like they kind of put you through their own training process. We did a lot of like workshops and whatever. So I actually think I'm
So this is
good
something
with
that, I
kids.
mean, you had to have had an interest in, and perhaps I'll do this in the future.
Yeah, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And I'm always like, if this stuff doesn't work out, or if I don't want to do it anymore, I'll become a teacher.
And where are you in your comedy career?
Here's what I'd say. I'm doing okay. I mean, I write on TV shows. I'm going to be in one this year. So it's like, I think in the next year, I'll have a little bit more. But I'm like working regularly, which is nice. And I feel lucky.
Are you doing clubs and stuff?
I don't do clubs as much. I would like to. I think my material, well, I shouldn't blame my material. I just don't really do clubs.
Okay.
But I'm like,
But you say you'd like to, so...
yeah, I just haven't really tried. I do like, Union Hall, Bell House when I'm here. And then in LA, it's like the Elysian,
but
whatever.
for making money, if you're going to tour, where would you play?
When I've toured, I usually do kind of like, I mean, I don't do clubs. I do like venues that are often like kind of DIY, whatever. But I was touring with someone who did some clubs, but it was mostly like rock venues.
That's how I did clubs when I started. I started when I was, relatively young in this, in comedy, and did clubs because that's where you played, and did that a lot until I decided, fuck this.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't do that well in clubs. I'll take the money and I'll take the gigs and I'll do my material. But, and then I did a tour where I had a band open up for me, and then we did music venues, and it was fucking awesome.
That's
then
fun.
you dictate everything.
Right.
You've got, and there's several downsides to a club, but one of them is, you've got no control. You got, if you want to go over 45 minutes in the second show Saturday, you can't.
No.
There's no,
Right.
you got to do that. And then they're dropping checks in the middle of your closing bit and all that stuff. And, and you got to deal with annoying owners and the comedy
really
condo.
Swarm.
Do you ever stay in a comedy condo?
What is a comedy condo? Sounds scary.
You kids today. You kids. The comedy condo is the place. Sometimes it wasn't a condo, but it was the place that the club had. That was where all the comics stayed, and then there was a hierarchy.
Sure. Oh, okay. Interesting.
So the headliner got the good room, middle act, feature act is the next best, and then it just sort of shook out that way. And it's part of paying your dues or whatever. And but it was
comedy condo.
Oh yeah, it was
incredible.
Yeah.
I wish that was still around. There's one venue and
trust me.
Really?
Yeah. It depends on who you're working with.
Yeah.
I didn't work with, outside of maybe one or two weeks at various clubs, maybe more than that. Yeah, it's probably not fair, but I'd say certainly well over half of them were with fucking douchey road hack people who were...
Yeah, it's interesting the like gamut of people who tour and what's going on with them. But yeah, I don't. I
That's kind of why I asked. That's was the reason why. Like, where are you and what are you doing? And
Yeah. I want to tour more.
yeah,
It's fun when I've done it. But I started doing stand up. I'm not saying I was good at it, but I started when I was 9.
wow,
I know.
9. Where do you?
Gotham Comedy Club down the street.
No shit, like a
Has
legit club.
They have a kids troupe.
Oh, that's cool. That's smart. I like that.
It was, but it was also like just the worst. I mean,
Now, I don't think you can say you. Well,
I can show you tapes. I have all my sets were taped.
I love that.
And I was like, my mom is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She steals forks from McDonald's. We have no money. Like whatever. It was joke. I was making jokes, but it wasn't good. And when I first started out, I was copying other people's.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I was like, I think I was obsessed with Dimitri Martin at the time. And
So
I was
kind of a
telling
quiet-
his jokes.
Yeah.
And we had these like coaches. We had to
Mm-hmm.
do workshops with professional comedians who would give us tips and stuff.
Professional comedians.
Who
That
now-
should be in air quotes.
It was very much so, yeah.
Who were some of the professional comedians?
I wish I could tell you their names, but I can't. But this one guy was like, "That's Dimitri Martin's joke,"
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "No, it's not." And I have that on tape of him being like, "It is."
No, it's not.
I was like, "Oh, I guess I wrote it too." About like the most like absurd conceptual like
Yeah.
and
That
I was
a
like
9-year-old
10.
would-
Yeah. But yeah, I did brunch shows every month or so for about 9 years.
Brunch shows.
Yeah, like it was like the Sunday at 2 p.m. show at Gotham.
For kids.
Well, it was like a kid troupe, but anyone could come. I mean, often it was.
I'm surprised your dad wasn't part of that.
I know. I mean, he dropped in every now and then,
Of course he did.
to take stock. But but it was that was my training ground.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated, maybe unduly, but I'm fascinated with kids who grew up in the city, because when I was a kid, I knew early on I was not meant to be wherever I was. And I was meant to be in either a big city or New York specifically. Yeah. And I knew that at a really young age. And my conception of what being a city kid was way off, because pretty much, and I feel the exact same way about people who grew up in Hollywood, like kid actors.
Yeah.
Are just some of the most grounded, like legit ethical people I know. Like specifically with like Hollywood, I'm married to a woman who was a child actress. I know tons of them, born and raised in LA, Hollywood, and they're just the most decent, down to earth, unaffected people.
Whoa.
And it's the people that move there who are like, I'm going to be famous. They're the assholes.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is there's a little bit of that in New York too. Like most of the people that I know who grew up in the city are just totally chill, good, decent people. Although I've made the observation that, and I find this obnoxious, that New York City, people who grew up in New York are the only people who ever will preface a sentence with, well, I'm from New York, so. And nobody does, like, I'm from Boston, so. I'm from Atlanta, so. I'm from San Francisco,
What do they usually say after?
Whatever. It's some sort of like, they're above it, they're experienced, they don't see it the same way, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
Like, you'll hear that.
Trying to think
not a
if
lot,
I'm guilty
but occasionally.
of that. I must be. I'm living in LA now, more or less, and I always am like, I'm from New York, so I don't know how to drive. Right. Is that okay?
But it's all okay. It's not okay. It's something that only New Yorkers will preface Like, well, I'm from New York, so I
Yeah,
know what a
yeah,
bagel is
totally.
or whatever fucking annoying
Yeah,
thing.
I do. I think I have that a little bit. I'm very much someone who's like, I mean, when I'm in LA, I'm like, LA is not a city. Don't you think?
No, I think it's a city. I think it's a poorly planned, not good city,
Right.
but it is a city.
Sure. Yeah. That's maybe the thing where I'm like, I'm from New York, so I know what a city is. LA is not a city.
Well, you're talking about density and
Yes.
the planning of New York City is much smarter. It's on a grid. It's got a finite amount of boroughs. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
It's not like all of a sudden, it's gonna be, hey, Westchester is now part of New York City. But in LA, it's just like, wait, Hawthorne?
Yeah.
Where am I going?
Yeah. Yeah.
But so where in LA do you live?
Right now, Echo Park.
Oh, I love Echo Park.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I lived in LA for 9 years,
Mhm.
9.5 years, and I just lived in Los Feliz and Silver Lake
Perfect.
the entire time. Yeah, it was great. And I rode my bike around a lot.
I tried riding my bike and it went really poorly.
It's not a very bike-friendly city at all.
And I walk a lot.
Yeah.
When I'm not working, I often walk from Echo Park to Beverly Hills because I love the Grove.
Wow. That's because you what?
I love the Grove.
Okay, sure. I like the Grove.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't like the Grove. I like the farmer's market. I do. I think that's a really good, cool place. And I used to go and write there and have lunch there and continue writing. It was nice. Yeah, I like the farmer's market.
Yeah.
But the Grove is kind of a nice thing to have there. I don't know that I'd walk 10 miles to it, but
I'm really into walking.
Me too. And I walk a lot, and I'd say almost every visit, almost every one, at some point I'll have to do, and I don't go unless I have to go.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go, it's usually like press or work.
Yeah.
And like there's a hotel I'll stay at that's centrally located on Vine and Argyle.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pretty much walk to a whole bunch of places that you have to go through, but you have to walk through Hollywood Boulevard and all that shit. And I'll go do somebody's podcast or whatever. And when I explain, when I get in there and I explain that I walked there, it doesn't compute.
Yeah.
It's like a computer malfunction.
Yeah. People will like pull up to me on the street and be like, "Are you okay?" If I'm I mean, because there are stretches where it's like, you probably shouldn't be walking there. It's like full. I've ended up on the side of the highway before.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not good.
But I'm okay. I was fine.
All right. Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Rachel, thank you so much for coming on the show.
It was a blast.
It was a pleasure to meet you. You're fascinating.
Thank you.
And I want to see your stand-up now. Now, I end every show with a question from my daughter.
Okay.
And this is... I'm running out of questions. I need more questions. But this is... Okay, so Rachel Kaly, ask for her by name. This is the question from my daughter, 7. When tornadoes are made, how does the bottom part lift up?
That's like the hole?
Well, I think there's a funnel.
Right.
So the bottom part would be where it's most tapered. But it does lift up. If you watch just watch old-timey tornado videos. If you watch
like Wizard
videos
of Oz
or whatever, you'll see, the spout, and then it sort of lifts up a little bit. How does the bottom part lift up is what Marla would like to know.
If you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen. And I think that tornadoes want to lift up a house. And so it does.
Wow. I like that answer. I can't say that I'm fond of all the answers I get, but that's a good one.
Really?
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. Okay. Rachel Kaly, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Um,
Feel better or
and-
get a good nap.
oh, and I thank you. And we're gonna have to cut out the name of the show she's doing, but oh boy, it's a good one. When you see Rachel Kaly on this show, watch that show.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
hope so.
Okay.
Yay.
That was a Headgum podcast.